Welcome to Sports Scope, the most influential sports talk show in the nation.
What is today, the 19th?
Stay tuned for updates and great sports content.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler. On this 19th day, we are on the eve of the actual playoffs. Although I still like to say that these playing games have been good. I know last I checked, the Heat, even without Jimmy Butler beating up on Chicago, Chicago's kind of closed in here, cut it to 11. This was a 17-point game at one point. Jimmy Butler's out tonight. But I do think tomorrow, the actual series start. We have a very good playoff slate in the NBA. Hopefully, Carlos New Chavez will show up. He's not back studio yet, but we still haven't taken our break yet. Going to ask him about Jontay Porter, first player banned for life for gambling since this has been legal in other states around the United States, since really leagues have embraced gambling. So, hopefully we can have him on. If not, I'll be talking about the NBA playoffs, breaking this thing down, giving predictions and whatnot. So stand by. We'll take our first and only break. I'll be back here either way in 49 seconds. We'll hit the ground running here on Sports Scope. If I can get this thing squared away. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. All righty then. Now I'm back here live, and Carlos has popped in here. Ready to play. Happy Friday, man.
Yo, happy Friday. Happy
Friday at
payday.
last. Friday at last.
Yo, it's that payday. Time to get that shine on.
Uh-huh. Time to get paid, blow up like the world trade, like Notorious Big would say.
No, be careful.
I know, right? That song, Juicy, that actually, the Trade Center was bombed twice.
Right.
1993. That's not shortly after that. Notorious Big came out with the song Juicy.
Right.
And I still like that line, even though it came out before the big Trade Center.
Right.
It just still stuck in my head, Time to get paid, blow up like the world trade. Them rappers will do anything, man, for a good rhyme.
They say anything, and then they get upset when people get mad.
They get upset when people get mad. Speaking of blowing up and stuff, and careers going down the drain, did you know that this Jontay Porter guy was the brother of Michael Porter Jr. of the Denver Nuggets?
No, I mean, the stories are coming in and out of different things going on, but I was not aware that they were siblings until it was mentioned in the news broadcast.
Yeah, they put it at the very end on purpose because the big networks want this story to go away, because I'm sure the league wants it to go away. This guy he's got banned for life for gambling. And wanted to get your take on it, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to set a precedent, trying to set up an idea that the NBA, there aren't people who are fixing or are on the fix or setting up the fix. Yeah, but that's just not necessarily true, man. It's been happening since, when the league got together. Like, it's been happening And somebody somewhere is doing something, and people are making money, or are making money. So
so you think that there's, and I do too, actually. I think there are some players that are probably having friends or family member betting for them. The problem is, if you get greedy, those red flags are going to come. They have security monitors on these sites. That he made an $80-something thousand bet. He's a backup center, and that caused the red flag. The payout, he hit all the unders because he checked himself out of the game. It was a $1.1 million payout. That got frozen. So it's really not worth it, though. He only made like $2 million in his career, but he's making like $400,000 this year. It still ain't worth it, I don't think. But what do you think?
I mean, everybody has their own idea of what they need to do and what they want to do to get money out of life, and betting is one of those. Betting is one of those ways to try to make quick money.
Yeah,
but as quick as you make it, the quicker you take it away too. Like, so even if you go to a casino, for instance, or you start making money and making runs at tables, they're gonna move you, or they're gonna do things at that table to make sure that you're not comfortable anymore. So the house always wins, man. The house will always win.
You must have seen that movie Casino with Robert De Niro.
I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen a lot of stuff on TV and movies, but I've seen a lot of stuff in the places themselves, And if you don't drink the juice that they're serving you, then your eyes are open to more and to things that are actually going on, And there's a reason they have smoke rooms where people can smoke, and like I know of somebody that once shared a stat with me that said the rooms where they allow smoking, because these people have nervous tendencies, are making 85 to 90% of the house money.
Really?
Think about that. I'm like, what? So if you go to a smoky room and you want to win money, stay away from that, because all those people are losing money. They're not making money. They might sound like sometimes they'll sound like they're making money, but it's more likely they'll lose money, right? So
okay.
I don't gamble, man. I'm not gonna sit here and try to be self-righteous. I've been to a casino.
Yeah.
I've played.
You're that player that would probably try to win the game.
I'm not one to be there doing it every single time, every single day, looking for a big payout, man. I mean, I've done it, sparingly, but I don't depend on that as a money maker. And some people do, and some people are okay at it. Some people are good at it. Yeah. Very few are great at it. So, it's called gambling, and it's called a bet for a reason, people. Like, they don't call it like a career service.
Do you think this will be a bigger problem in the near future? Or do you think the fact that these players are getting really hammered by these leagues? Calvin Ridley, he's a Titan now. He was suspended for a whole year for betting on football, even when he wasn't playing. Do you think it'll kind of scare some of these mainstream players straight?
Well, I feel like the players that make these mistakes are players that don't think about consequences.
Yeah.
And it could be somebody good, it could be somebody great, or it could be an average player, like somebody just play a few years. But again, at the end of the day, it's something. It's a habit that can become, that could take over, and can ruin your career. But Robert, it's almost the same thing as people juicing or taking drugs, doing things to try to get better at the game. Like, they're just thinking about doing something to try to get over and make a little bit extra money, and it usually doesn't. It usually doesn't work out the way it does, but then there's always stories of like players after they retired. Oh yeah, I used to do this and I did that, and they got away with it. But
PEDs. These players got hammered. Who was it? Tatis. Didn't he get suspended for like 80 games in baseball? And he's a big time star.
Yeah, and I the funny part about that, right before he got suspended, I was talking to a friend. I went. It was one of the first few games that the Mets played, and
you had a chance to see Tatis.
Yeah, I was watching him, and I texted my friend. I was like, "Man, he's getting better. He's looking like he's got some pop." And I was like, and he looked like he gained some muscle too, like, you know, because
Yeah.
he's not a big stocky guy. He's a very thin person. And I was like, he looked like he gained some muscle too. And then I was like, you know, and I told him, and I was like, because this person I know, he works in the majors on another team, and they're like, yeah, they're expecting big things from him. A week later,
boom,
comes out that he tested positive for PEDs, and I was like, I'm not a whistleblower. I'm not the guy they got to worry about. But if you're watching baseball and you're watching some of these kids and the way that they mature, like Barry Bonds, if you saw the first year he played for the Pirates and then you saw the second year he played for the Pirates, there wasn't really a change.
Yeah.
In his body.
Even his last year, 92, when the Pirates, he still had that thin frame, but he was hitting 25 home runs a year and 300, you know, and then when it was only towards like what 2000, maybe 99 or whatever. Then he started his head started looking bigger.
Yeah, he started bulking up, right? So like you could see it, and then it's like, you know, and I'm not, you know, I watched the game. I'm not, you know, I'm not a purist by all means, but it's like I expect some of these younger players to get muscle, to get bigger, to, you know, to mature, to do better things on the field, but there's always a tendency for slow growth, you know, to happen. And as a kid get, you know, as they get closer to 20, 25, then if they're like 22 and they look like they're 32, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and also, and here's something, some of these kids try to gain weight. They're not doing PEDs, they're just gaining weight. But then you see that they start falling out of shape, right? So
you see it in the football culture. They change their diets in the NFL, and I do think a lot of that is legit. I mean, they're just bulking up. Quarterbacks per se. Remember, Peyton was really thin. Peyton Manning.
Yeah,
he got a lot bigger.
Like Eli's a skinny. He has a skinny, small frame of, you know, and even when he gained muscle, he didn't look like he bulked up. Like you could tell that wasn't the guy who was doing, if he did PEDs, he wasn't doing it like,
it just looked more natural,
right?
It was very even throughout the body. Like Rodgers was kind of a thin guy at the beginning, then he kind of got thicker, you could tell.
But you know, he didn't build all that muscle, gain all that muscle in 2 or 3 years, you know.
No, I mean, his head wasn't looking crazy looking, you know. And but anyways, I just thought that was an interesting story. It just goes to show you can't really trust exactly just what the headline says. As a communication major, they always said one of the things that we looked at, there was a study done that, this was a question on the test when I was at Austin Peay, that we had the study that most people don't just read. They don't read the story. They just read the headlines and glance at it. And I just found out that was Michael Porter Jr.'s brother this week. I knew about this story. They've been talking about it for a week. This happened back in March or whatever. And you had to scan all the way down to the very bottom of the page. This person is Michael Porter. Michael Porter Jr. is probably the 4 at Denver. He's got 160 something huge $1 million plus contract here. So that was on purpose, because the league they want this story to go away as quickly as possible, and they're telling the networks kind of poo-poo that. You know, I read today that Porter's other brother is going to jail for some kind of vehicular homicide, 8 years. So he's surrounded by all kinds of chaos.
Yeah, I started reading that. See, the way I was reading it made it feel like that was the same person, but it was his brother.
His other brother.
Like, oh my God, these kids. You
know, the NBA's been they probably looked into Porter too. I'm sure.
I'm sure. I like it.
Yeah, 6'10". You know, he's the one that really broke through for the family.
Look, I mean, like, again,
I got bad seeds in mine. Shoot, I don't act like I'm better than everybody. I know I came from the wrong side of the track.
It's not like evil. It's just like sometimes you get a vice, and the vice is what,
right?
You know.
Yeah, we all got some kind of vices here. So let's flip this page here. We've got the Knicks.
Woo!
Looks like they're going to be playing. Who
Philly.
are the Knicks? The 76ers. When this line first came out, I sent you the lines at the 1,000 text messages there. My bad, but
It's all right.
that's the only way I could get them put in there. But the line had the 76ers as the favorite at first. Then it went back even as a pick'em series.
Right.
At first I thought maybe with Embiid back, they got some star power down there in Philadelphia.
They got the problem.
Maxey, Embiid. I forgot about the dude that hit all those threes the other day.
I describe Philadelphia as a black hole, even though they got star power and they got their own little galaxy going. It's just the problem is that they can't get it right. They always got a situation come up, whether it's lack of effort, whether it's Embiid getting hurt, whether it's Embiid getting the ball too much, them depending on him and not spreading the ball around. So, and you got another team like the Knicks who finished the season on a high, even after losing a player like Randall, who I'm not too keen on anyway. So I was always here saying that they didn't really need him anyways, he slows the game up for them.
Right.
What I see for the Knicks and how I see they can turn the tables is that they use their experience from the kids from Villanova. They're used to being and playing
hard and what's it call it,
in that arena. So they'll be okay. But if they can feed off of those guys' energy and those guys being comfortable because they played there their whole career in college and now they play there during the NBA season, they'll be all right. Whereas if Philadelphia has to go to the Garden, that's a harder transition for a Philly team to get used to being at the Garden. So the Knicks do have an advantage having three of their stars being ex-Philadelphia college players at Villanova playing in that arena.
I never thought about it that way. That's a good point.
That it's they talk about it here in the media. They've mentioned that, and I feel like I agree with that. Because you're talking about three starters. You're not talking about three bench players. You're talking about three starters.
Yeah.
Who won a championship? You playing most of their games in that arena.
Jay Wright. Yeah.
So they know the arena, so they're comfortable there, and they have to play a team that is trying to get their act together. And
you don't think Oubre is going to make a difference, or a Nicholas Batum? That's 76ers got a pretty deep team.
I'm
surprised they're a 7th seed,
Yeah, as much as I call them a black hole, they've always tend to find their way to the top, towards the top of the East. Not always being the top team in the East, but I give credit to their general manager for trying to patchwork that team, considering that you're depending on a player that averages 50 to 60 games a year in Embiid due to injuries. I
don't think he's going to last us whole series, man.
I don't,
he's going to get banged up again.
When was the last time Embiid played a full season?
Right. I can't remember.
And I'm not trying to. Again, I like Embiid. He's a great.
You just got to call it like you see it, man.
No, I would never say he's not a good player. He's a great player.
But he still gets banged up a lot, though. And every playoffs, he gets hurt.
The problem is this: you can let Embiid score 80 points or 100 points, and Philadelphia will still lose the game. Right
now, they've got Nick Nurse this year.
Right. So, and I say that because
they got a better coach than Doc Rivers.
The percentage that it takes Embiid to get to the 40 plus points, he's taking the ball away from guys that can shoot. He's taking the ball away from guys that attack the basket. You have players that attack and can shoot like Tobias, who's inconsistent. You got a player like Maxey, who's up and down, but is trying to become a consistent player, and I give him props. He's doing very well. Batum,
he came off the bench and really lit up Miami.
My question is this: if you have,
they still almost lost though.
Right. If your team is so deep and so and good, why can't your players be averaging at least 12 points each, right? Because you're like, you say you have 8 players, maybe 9 players, they should at least all have 10 points. That gives you 90 points without giving Embiid 30 points. So theoretically, your team should be scoring an average of 110 to 120 points anyways, if you have Embiid on your team. That's not happening, right? They're hitting the scoring ratio and point ratio is between 70 to 80 points a game. Where the Knicks, the difference is the Knicks, they have, even if Brunson's scoring 30 plus points or even 30 points.
Yeah.
DiVincenzo, Hart, and OG, they're scoring at least 10 to 12 points each on an average. I'm not saying every day. Don't take what I'm saying.
It seems like they're more consistent.
Yes, so they're more of a team. They're more of a team oriented and depend on each other to score points. So if Brunson, that's the problem too. That was another thing with Brunson for I was telling people, and Randall's out, so that takes away a person who scores. But Brunson, when he scores, if you look at his scoring ratio, the shots he takes, he's not taking that many shots. He's just scoring on the shots that he takes.
Yeah.
Where Randall was scoring,
you're saying he shoots a high percentage.
Exactly.
It's
and where Randall was scoring high points on a low percentage, he was on the floor longer. You take Randall out, now you're getting high percentage shots from DiVincenzo at the 3-point line and Hart attacking the basket or getting open shots because Brunson's moving the ball around, right? So there's it's a different game. And it's not that they don't need Randall, it's that when Randall plays, he takes time. The Knicks have to set up for him to get the ball to him, and he slows the game down.
That's what I'm hearing from other folks. He slows the game down, and it's like you get him the ball just because you have to get him the ball rather than him not being part of the play, essentially.
There's less of a
like
flow.
You're throwing the ball over here for no reason.
And, you're not getting those random 3-point shots from Randall. That it's not that he can't score threes, but why are you throwing up a random 3? You're not even that open. Like, move the ball around a little bit.
That's true.
Like those small things that would irritate me. Or like you're under the basket, you just try to block the ball. The ball's coming right by your head, but you're not going for the rebound.
So you still like the Knicks? You like the Knicks to win this series?
I think the Knicks can beat the Sixers in this series and probably go maybe +3 games. But
you think it's going to go 7?
No, it won't. I don't think it'll go past 5.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
You think the Knicks are going to play that well?
I think
I got the Knicks in 7.
I think the Knicks will play.
But I got the Knicks winning. I do think they'll win.
I have the Knicks playing well. I have Philadelphia playing terrible. Like they're not going to lose. Philadelphia's going to lose because they're not going to find how to score. They're going to just try to keep give the ball to Embiid, and they're going to take away from the tools that they actually have and the team that they actually can use. I think Maxey might have a great game.
Yeah.
But I think
Maxey's playing a little better every year. They got Buddy Hield off the bench too, by the way.
Yeah, and another tool that they don't use, right? Like,
yeah.
Buddy Hield himself in college was averaging 22 to 25 points a game.
I thought he was going to be. I just think he hasn't found the right fit.
Yeah, he's not on a team where because he's coming from Sacramento, right?
I think so. Yeah. And
Sacramento had a young team and what happened was
I think he's moved from like 2 teams. Actually, I think he was in New Orleans for a little while too.
Was he on Indiana?
Now you really got me thinking.
No, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, it might have been Louisiana. But so and that's the thing that they're gonna give Embiid the ball too because that's what they're expecting. That's what the team's gonna expect. You're a guy, so you got to carry us.
Oh, we're both right. Yeah, Philadelphia, Indy. He's been kind of like a rolling stone here.
Because the problem, what he's kind
of buddy.
Yeah, he's kind of like what happened to this guy when he was the best scoring player.
The guy from the Pistons, Billups,
from the Lakers. He ended up ending with the Lakers. Long hair from Gonzaga.
Oh, I can't remember now.
Jimmy, not for the other guy. with the mustache. The mustache.
Yeah, I
forget
can't
his
remember.
name.
It's not Russell, is it?
No. But Morrison.
Oh yeah, Adam Morrison.
Adam Morrison. Remember, he was coming out of college.
Yeah.
He was one of the highest scoring percentage players. And
But I thought Buddy Hield was going to be a better. He's pretty solid at times. He's just not as good as I think everybody thought he was going to be.
I think
Morrison's a bit of a bust.
You know what? I think with the problem with the NBA is that they're more shooting up threes.
Yeah.
So they don't give a player like Buddy Hield who can use a whole floor.
Do other thing, the mid-range.
Yeah, do other things than throw it. Yeah. So I think that's the same thing they have with Adam Morrison. He was a little like maybe 4 to 5 seasons before his time. Had he come in a little bit later, he would have been probably a better player.
That's true. Jordan liked him and nobody else did. I think he got drafted by Charlotte.
Yeah,
I want to say.
But,
hey, switching gears here, going through them a little bit rapid fire so we don't run out of time. I'm a little. It's good for the league to get teams in we haven't seen in a while. By the way, the Magic are still in the NBA. They're going to be playing Cleveland. Their lead score's like 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Pablo something.
No, it's
Pacheco.
Pacheco,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's 21 years old, man.
He's fun to watch. And
I know he was a high draft pick a few years ago.
Yeah, and again, running, gunning, shooting up threes and hoping they land. I mean,
yeah,
but not him. He attacks the basket a little bit more. He sees that the defense gives him space. He uses it. You
got a chance to see. Okay.
Yeah, he's a good.
I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, man. He's fun to watch.
Yeah. So they're playing Cleveland. Cleveland's been there last year. I'm not in love with Donovan Mitchell, but that team's Orlando's very young. That's the kind of team you like. You like babies.
Well, when you had a team like, the thing is that the game is so different now, Robert. Like, it's not like you give the ball to your point guard and your point guard runs the game.
Yeah, we need to get back to that, though.
You got like 4 guys who get the ball, any 4 guys can bring the ball up. Any 4 guys might bring the ball and just take an extra shot. Just because.
Yeah, that's the LeBron era.
And it's, every team has at least 3 guards. And none of them can play a point.
Or those point forwards.
Yeah, point. There you go.
LeBron brings the ball up sometimes.
And I don't like that terminology.
I've seen Joker bring the ball up.
Yeah. I don't like I feel like, like running back, you have the running back position, and then you have a fullback position, and the fullback runs the ball. He's still not a running back.
Right.
I feel like the terminology point should be the same thing. Like you might be running the ball up, but you're not a point. Like you're not a point guard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. You're just for short yardage situations. And blocking.
Yeah, like stop thinking that because
who do you like in that series? I think it's probably Cleveland in 6, but I think Orlando make it interesting.
The so inconsistent Cleveland, and I think Orlando can make a surge. They're a younger team.
Yeah.
But they have to score, man. You can't just think if you're running, you get points for running. You don't get points for running, you get points for scoring. And I feel like they should try to attack the basket as much as possible just to get those fouls, early fouls. And then try to, throw the ball in the air. It's kind of, Boston did this last year, man, where they were just shooting the 3-point. And by the time they tried to set up a game plan, it was too late. They didn't use in and out. They didn't use any of the opportunities that they had with the players that they had on that team. And then you had a lot of inconsistency. That's kind of terrible.
You gonna pick Orlando to upset them?
The Cleveland series? Yeah, I think that might go 5.
Yeah. So you like Cleveland, Orlando?
I like Orlando, but I think Cleveland might win. But I hope Orlando wins. But
yeah, man, I hear you.
I want to see more. I want to see back and forth. I don't want to see that whole let's slow the game down. Let's try to back the ball in. Let's, set up.
Do you think that the way I'm looking at it right now, it looks like the Heat are going to beat Chicago? Well, Chicago sucks, don't they? I don't know how they even get into the playing game. I took Chicago thinking, the Heat are beating them by 10 without Jimmy Butler. And, now they're beating them by 8. Let's just say the Heat win and they play Boston, the number 1 seed in the East. Do you think they can win a game or two even without Jimmy Butler against Boston, this pumped-up Boston team? Boston probably find a way to screw this thing up and give up a game or two when they don't need to.
I think Spoelstra and the Heat are dangerous in the playoffs.
Yeah, just like last year.
I think they will compete with you. And the thing is, if Butler's hurt or whatever, they got Tyler Hero, but
Tyler Hero, yeah.
He's just shooting like crazy. He needs to calm down. He needs to be realistic. He needs to move the ball around. I don't know what position they're putting him, but he's not a point guard. He's just shooting the ball like a 2 guard, and like that guy who you play pickup with, and you're like, dude, pass the ball. That's Tyler Hero right now. Like, hey, come on.
He's 4 years older now. We can't make excuses for Hero no more for being young.
That's the thing, right? Like you think, like you got hurt last year, you weren't on this playoff team.
That's true.
Now you're on this playoff team. You have to make a difference.
He was taking some bad shots the other night. I thought they was going to beat Philadelphia. Now they're up by 11 with
had they attacked that basket and forced Embiid. Embiid was the one who turned around and was like, you know what? I'm going to stand here and they're going to foul me.
Yeah. But B he had a great pass there at the end to hit Oubre under the basket. So that's why I think that's going to be a really tight series because Nick Nurse is coaching them. He's getting them to pass the ball more. I think he's a better coach than Rivers. They both got rings.
Nick Nurse ain't going to tell these kids and these guys to not depend on Embiid.
Like, you got to get Embiid the ball, but Embiid can't dribble.
Right. Like, if I'm the coach,
you got to have ball movement. That's how Miami keeps winning games.
Embiid should not have the ball in his hand until he's on the top of the key.
Yes.
Once he's on the top of the key, you give him the ball one time, he passes to you. You shouldn't give it back to him until he's under the basket.
Yeah.
That's 3 steps for Embiid. If you can't do that and giving the ball under the basket, why are you having him shoot 15, 25 footers?
Yeah.
Put him on.
That's the new NBA. I don't like that. That's what I don't like about Boston.
Yeah, the same Porzingis. I was gonna say that's why I'm like.
I've changed my prediction on the finals. I think it's going to be Denver repeating now because they're not using Porzingis right. They're not. But I think they'll probably beat the Heat in like 5 games. But I think the Heat will get a game even without Jimmy Butler.
I'll tell you this: if Boston loses, it's because
he's got an MCL injury.
The thing is, Porzingis is not a strong-minded. He's not I'm gonna attack the basket kind of player. He's a finesse shooter.
Yeah,
in the body of a 7-footer.
And that's annoying, I dropped my highlighter. They're like, dude, you're 7 feet tall. Get up under the basket. What did they bring him in here for?
And when he was in New York and I was like watching this guy, I'm like, you don't have to be under the basket because you can shoot. But if you're under the basket, turn around and shoot it.
Yeah, don't go to the 3-point line.
So that's like you.
We're still really loaded though. I think they'll probably get to the finals, but I don't think it's going to be as easy. They'll win some games like they always do. They'll blow some people out by 30 points, and then they'll lose to a team. You're like, what happened here? What happened here?
Miami might be that team.
Yeah. I think Miami. Okay, let's see. Make sure I got every. Oh man, the West. I cannot wait for these Western Conference Finals. We'll start with. Let's see. How about Dallas? And actually, any thoughts on Indiana and Milwaukee? No Giannis. I actually think Indiana's going to beat them, man.
I think that Milwaukee will be competitive for the series.
Most of the game?
Yeah, for most of the games. But who is – Giannis is what Embiid is not.
Yeah.
Can I say that? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Giannis
He's more
is
important to the game, for the
what
team.
Embiid is not.
Yeah.
If those two guys aren't in the game, on your bench, do you have enough guys to carry your team?
Yeah.
So
and their defense isn't good this year.
They have Damian, right?
Yeah.
They have who else?
Well, I mean, you got Lopez,
huh?
Middleton, Lopez.
They got a bunch of guys over.
I mean, Portis is going to have to play out of his mind for them to win this series.
Middleton.
I don't see it happening, man. Especially with a calf. If you rush back from a calf injury, you could tear your Achilles doing that.
Middleton has to.
Yeah.
Not like
maybe.
He has to score.
Yeah.
A minimum of 19 to 20 points a game. Minimum. Mm-hmm. If he can't score 19 to 20 points a game, the Bucks don't have as much as as much as Damian's gonna be like trying to carry the team and do what
he's gonna have 40 or 50 points in one of these games.
Yeah, Middleton will still have that same game, will still have to have 19 or 20 points. If Middleton doesn't, it doesn't matter if Damian's scoring.
Who do you like to win the series?
I think this is gonna be the first time that Milwaukee will get kicked out. And I said that would happen because they
got beat last year by Miami.
Yeah, they had all these changes made, but they didn't get younger. You have to get younger. You have to stay under 27.
Their defense ain't there. I think this young team beats them in 6. I like the Pacers in 6 too. Let's move on so we don't run out of time.
We got Halliburton's playing good, and he's back.
Yeah, Halliburton. He's an energizer bunny, man. Mm-hmm. Hey, what do you think about this Phoenix-Minnesota game? This is going to be a good series.
That will be a great series. 6
or 7 games. Anthony Edwards, he may bust out in this series.
I would hope that Edwards, what's this guy's name is? Because they play good defense, man. They're right on
Gobert?
Huh? Yeah, Gobert.
Yeah.
They're a top 5 defensive team right now.
Yeah. So he's a great rim protector.
Right. And Phoenix is, I wouldn't say they're in the top 5 scoring, but Phoenix has the players to score. So this is going to be a battle of the two kinds, right? So defense usually wins the game, right?
But well, no, I tell you what, Phoenix is playing some really good basketball down the stretch. What's that guy's name? Nurkic, the center. Draymond Green called him out a few months ago and said this guy's lazy and this and that, and they had some more back and forth. Truth of the matter is, I believe I agree with everything. The criticisms that Draymond Green was saying, he was right about. So Nurkic, he's been playing a lot better, putting the ball back. And of course, you got Bradley Beal back there. They're going to be dangerous. I think they're going to beat this younger team. I don't know what percentage is Karl Anthony Towns going to be at, you know?
Right. Well, the key is Gobert not just playing defense. He has to carry.
Yeah, he's going to have to score some.
He's going to have to score, right? If he's just scoring,
but Edwards is going to be good. He's going to be fun to watch in this series.
This is going to be a good series because you're going to have offense versus defense.
Yeah.
And the Suns, Phoenix have a deeper bench with offensive scorers. Yes. The problem is that they don't play defense that well. That's the problem. So they can go up 20 points, and then you'll see that the Timberwolves will come back and then make it a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only problem.
Who do you like to win the series?
I hope to see the Timberwolves win, but to be honest with you, that's a lot of firepower that the Suns have.
You forgot about Grayson Allen. He just signed an extension. He's been banging it away from 3 too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so if they start hitting
that's part of their depth, you know.
If they start hitting Bradley Beal scoring 25 points, other guys scoring 18,
15 off the bench for Allen, or
you see how that works? You see how that would work for the Phoenix Suns, but it doesn't work for Philadelphia. You see that the difference? You don't know, but that's the reality, right?
Well, the Suns have a new coach this year, former Laker coach. I forgot his name now. But I still think Phoenix won the regular season 3-0. Only thing I'm worried about, if you're a Phoenix fan, you got injury-prone guys. Durant, Booker, Bill, especially Bill. He's always got some kind of mask on or something, you know. He's
But they
like
don't have to
Sam
worry.
Bradford or something out
They
there.
just got to shoot the ball. That's it. If they catch fire,
yeah. They need to get a higher percentage shot, but I've been watching a lot of that, so I'm like you. Trying to say, I forgot what their son's coach name, but this guy's won a Frank Vogel. Yeah, he won the championship with the Lakers in the bubble. He was very good with the Pacers for a number of years.
the Pacers coach,
They're going to be a team to watch, maybe get to the finals. They're going to be the biggest threat, in my opinion, if they stay healthy.
Yeah.
To Denver in the West, if you ask me.
Yeah, but remember what I say last year about the Suns. They were closer to the ER than to the final.
Well, this is what it is. I mean, you just got to call balls and strikes. What's your thoughts on Dallas and the Clippers? This is always a good playoff series.
Yeah, I
don't know about Kawhi, but that's a story of the last 5 years, him in the playoffs.
Yeah, and
4 years at least.
Are these guys gonna live up to their stats? Are these
no
guys on the Clippers? I mean, none of them, right? You got Westbrook, you got the Beard, you got you can have 50 guys there who rule stat sheets.
Harden,
3
MVPs on one team, man.
Yeah, but you can't win a playoff series. Come on, man. I mean, that just goes to show it doesn't matter what you do in the NBA and you make it stats. It doesn't make you a championship player.
Yeah. Are you surprised that Kyrie has played this well with Luka down the stretch?
I'm surprised that he was able to focus on basketball.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say? Because he's
on his best behavior,
It's not behavior. It's focus.
Behavior.
Because
he's trying to be good to get another contract.
No, because when you talk about behavior, when people in the NBA talk about behavior, they talk about guys who are just causing a ruckus.
Yeah.
Right. As behavioral issues.
Well, I think that's a distraction, though.
But when I talk about this guy in particular, I'm talking about just his focus. Like he's focused on basketball. And he's playing well, and
he's playing really good. They beat Denver a few weeks ago, and I couldn't believe it.
Now, understand, 5 to 6 years ago, he was the best point guard in the NBA.
He had the best finish. He's got one of the best finishes in the game at the rim.
Helped LeBron get to the championship. So
7 years. I mean, we're talking 7-8 years ago now, but
right.
I like Dallas to get the win. I don't think they can do anything with Luka, man.
He's just a smart player, man. He
hard to stop that dude. I mean, plus with Kawhi, he's banged up. He's got some kind of knee injury that they're monitoring.
Yeah, and like Luka's no Larry Bird, but
but that's a good comparison.
The difference between Luka and Larry Bird is this: Larry Bird,
better passer, maybe.
Larry Bird didn't really miss. He took shots he knew he could make. That's the difference. Luka's just taking shots. Larry Bird took shots he knew he could make. And he'll tell people, he'd be in your face and be like, I'm about to shoot this in your face.
Yeah, that's true.
And he knew he was gonna make those shots. Like there was
Bird was a little bit more gritty, but as far as a pure score, Luka.
That's what I like that one. Luka's a good player, a grinder. Bird was a pure shooter. Well,
that's the better overall. He's a 3-time champion, and Luka hasn't won anything yet. But I do like him to win this series. I think they'll probably win it in probably 6 games over Clippers.
I feel like Luka needs to use his potential better.
But you do like them to win the series?
I do. I like that Kyrie's focus.
Yeah.
I like that Luka is also trying to shoulder and take the team to another level. He just needs to take a deep breath and use his team more. He uses Kyrie very well. They play very well off each other because he uses speed over, the back and forth with Kyrie's speed. So that's a good basketball brain that he has. But I want him to be more. How can I say this? Use more of his skills, not just, turn around and make a one-on-one. You know what I'm saying?
I got you, dude. I got you. Yeah, I'm with Dallas too on this.
Yeah, I think Dallas will be okay.
Okay. Okay. I believe that the Pelicans are playing the Kings tonight. Zion Williamson's out. Do you think the Kings are going to win this game?
I don't see the Pelicans, other teams stepping up. I see two players averaging at least 20 points a game. I forget the name.
Ingram.
Yeah, Ingram and
McCollum.
Ingram and McCollum. Yeah.
Yeah, Williamson's out. Who had 40 the other night and still lost to the Lakers.
Do you see those kind of things?
But that hamstring has messed him up.
Yeah, those little tidbits, and you're like, because everybody's like, oh, just score. If we score, you'll win. That's not how that works. Not in this NBA, because you might score 20 points. The other guy's scoring 26 points because of the 2 3-pointers. You know, he pretty much leveled you out. You know what I'm saying? So,
was you surprised that the Kings beat Golden State the other night?
No,
Golden State showed their age, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. So, and Klay Thompson was colder than
man. He ain't hit no shots, dude. 0 for 5.
You know what? Klay Thompson reminded me of John Starks that one game, which is crazy.
Oh man, and they kept on shooting the ball.
They kept shooting, trying to catch that rhythm.
It's like, I know it's gonna come here eventually.
You know, but John Starks
building the house over here.
The house music
is with all them bricks. Man. But I tell you what, it kind of goes to show you what I've been saying. Depth isn't really the big issue. You got to have your starters in place in the playoffs. I thought the Warriors going to win. Malik Monk has been out. That Kevin Huerter guy for the Kings was out. But those young legs, Sabonis is having a career year.
He is having a great year.
That Murray guy.
They got a lot of moxie, man. They got a lot of grit. They've been grinding.
It's like they learned from last year, you know.
Well, they've been in the last 4 seasons, maybe 5 to 4 seasons. They've had the youngest team. They've had all the picks, and slowly they've been like an onion peeling away those guys that they don't feel is helping their team.
The moment's not too big,
right? They got rid of Halliburton. No, well, they got rid of a lot of guys.
Yeah,
right. And now they kept.
They also brought in Sabonis. Sabonis, you're right. Sabonis did. I think he came from Indianapolis.
Yeah.
He's blossomed, though. His dad was great.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying you think they're going to win?
I think Sacramento's going to go farther than people think.
What about Sacramento, Oklahoma City, who's got the 1 seed led by SGA?
Yeah, so about that.
That's going to be a good series.
That would be a good series because this is the baby NBA players versus the baby NBA
young
players.
On young. This is like the first grade versus the kindergarten.
Yeah.
The field day.
you know what happened with the kindergartens? They just wet their pants. They're like,
oh man. And I like SGA. I like that, dude.
Yeah.
I think this will probably be a 7. I think the 8 seed, if they win tonight, I think they'll beat Oklahoma City in a 7-game series. That may be the best series of the first round. That and that Philadelphia series.
Yeah, I tell people, listen, guys. I know it's West Coast. If you're on the East Coast, it's hard to stay up and watch those games.
It really is.
You know, try to watch it the next morning or something. But
that's usually what I do.
Watch it because these kids, you know, the NBA is always moving, shaking, shifting, and changing the style of play. I think like what Robert's saying, what we talked about, old school basketball, it's slowly kind of like there's certain parts of the game that's coming back.
It is. The mid-range game seems to be more prevalent.
You see the guys that are changed, that have a different mindset. Like the Europeans are bringing in a different type of style, and so you know it gets it exciting, man. It gets it, you know, something that not just throwing. And you're gonna see it. I'm not gonna say that you're not gonna see. You're gonna see teams just shooting threes. But that Golden State team tried it. It didn't work.
Right.
You know, so, you know, it's time for things to change. And it's time for us to see different things. And I hope that these young kids, that they put out a show, right? And like, let's see different things.
I think that Denver series will be good. It'll still Denver, LA. I mean, Denver's going to win, not unless there's an injury. But that's usually, you know, the Lakers kind of keep that game close, though. It's usually a 5-point game, and then
the one thing
Denver finishes it off at the end.
LeBron is gonna tell the coach when he's ready to go in. right? That's usually what happens. Okay, I'm in. I'm going in, and
yeah,
that's gonna backfire on him one of these games because he's gonna pick it the time too late.
Yeah.
So
do you think that? What do you think has to happen for the Lakers to upset? Which I would hate it, but for the Lakers to upset Denver, the 2 and the 7.
Those kids cannot depend on LeBron to score 20 points.
Yeah, he's gonna wear a run of gas, man.
Yeah. Like you gotta score as much as possible. And if LeBron comes in to help you, fine. But it can't be LeBron's show and everybody else later.
I think Russell's gonna have to just ball out.
And he's had a good season. His season's been good enough to
this may be the best season of his career.
Right, because he's been so mediocre that him being trade bait, nobody took. And this is the first time the Lakers had an opportunity to trade him, and they were like, we can't trade him right now because he's good.
He's been balling.
Yeah, so
he plays better when LeBron ain't on the court. And it's just him and Anthony Davis and Hillbilly Kobe there, Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves, man, he needs to they need to get him going.
Yeah.
But not from the 3-point line. They need to get him attacking the basket. Because what happens with his confidence, he starts thinking he can do anything once he starts scoring points.
Right.
When he's shooting up threes and he misses, and he makes 2 and he misses 4, he's kind of roaming around the 3-point line. Like
you can tell when he's gonna have a good game.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. You can tell when he's gonna have a bad game.
But I've seen him wear people out before. You never know when a guy like that's gonna show up.
But we want him to show up, Robert. We want him to show up.
No, I don't. I don't like him. I like to see Denver win. I know he's Hillbilly Kobe.
Just for
they don't even call him that no more since he got his new deal with Nike.
But I'll tell you what.
He's Suave Austin Reeves.
Jokic ain't no joke. He will smack you in the face if you're near the rim and you're trying to do something stupid or
brings a lot of energy.
You know,
I think guys like him and Vanderbilt and Hachimura, those guys are really the backbone. And of course, AD staying healthy,
right,
and playing good D at the rim. But this is probably a 5-game series, don't you think?
I don't. 5 is pushing it, but Russell.
Oh, you think they may sweep them again?
I think so. If
Denver is cold, man.
Yeah, if they can get this guy to keep his game up and Hillbilly
Hopefully
Willie,
Michael Porter can focus and not worry about his brothers that are effing up.
I mean, there's an opportunity. There's opportunities for this game, this season, this series to be competitive. But
yeah,
again, if LeBron's gonna come in too late, if you don't play the game the way it's.
You know what? You might be thinking now. I wonder if I'm Darvin Ham. I just tell LeBron don't play the last 3 minutes of the game and let D'Angelo Russell fire away since he's younger, more energetic. Take a chance because whatever you're doing, they've lost 7 straight to the Nuggets.
Because LeBron will come in late and he's not a spark.
Yeah,
right. And he's trying to show.
He's 40, man.
Yeah, so he's not Westbrook, and Westbrook's gonna get tired one of these days.
Yeah. He's good off the bench. Westbrook doing now what I said he should have done 3 years ago, coming off the bench. But I'm always right. I'm proven right. It takes him a minute to get used to everything. Okay, do you got anything to plug? Has your show times changed?
Yeah, man. Like I'm trying to get my
Fort Ball. Tell me about this Fort Ball.
What the Fort Ball? I'm gonna do a show tomorrow because there's a game tonight here in Queens, and not in Queens, but the Mets are playing, the Yankees are playing.
Oh wow!
We're almost at game 20 now, so we're getting closer to 20 games. So I'm gonna do a show for the up to 20 here tomorrow, maybe in the morning. I'm gonna post it here real quick. And set up for tomorrow morning and then or Sunday. It's just my plate's full right now, man. I work with kids in the school district here in Queens. So it's been busy. This is a time of the year where it just kind of starts peaking, and then we finally got spring break coming up, which is a little bit later than people.
Dang. When does school end? That's in June.
In June, bro. It ends like the 4th of July, bro. No, it's It ends in June 27th.
But we're like 6 weeks out, man. Less than that probably here in Nashville.
Yeah, I know. And it's June 27th is when we have the last day here in this school, in the school that my daughter goes to. So, you know, it's a long school year. It feels like it sometimes. So
yeah, you looking forward to next week? We got the draft next Thursday. You still good to come on?
Yeah,
you got your draft ready for the first 10 players?
I got 3 draft boards here, like a crazy lunatic. And 2 of them are simple, and the third one is trades and all kinds of craziness.
I haven't done all that.
Now
I've done 1 through 20.
You know what? I would like to see some excitement. I'm saying CeeDee Lamb might get traded by the Cowboys for picks. Oh, Jimmy Johnson.
Wow.
Oh, Jimmy Johnson's back in Jerry Jones's ears.
Well, what about T. Higgins possibly get traded? Cincinnati's receiver. What about Brandon Ayuk, who don't no longer follow the 49ers?
Yeah, those guys. I have them getting traded, but maybe for the second round.
Those guys could get traded.
Yeah, and
then again, Thursday, nothing could happen. You know,
they're not first round capital.
T. Higgins and Brandon Ayuk. I don't know.
You would trade T. Higgins for you're one of the top 10 teams.
Wouldn't you like to see him with Buffalo? Would you give it the 24th pick for T. Higgins?
The 24th for T. Higgins?
That's pretty good. He was
maybe Ayuk. I would do Ayuk before I do T. Higgins. But again, once you go to Buffalo, that's a different type of weather up there, man. Them guys got to be ready for that. Like, you know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's kind of a push. Ayuk is a little quicker though, ain't he? Higgins is longer.
Ayuk did more with less.
I think Ayuk maybe a year or two. That's a good. I have to look at the numbers there.
Yeah, because like
I don't know.
With Joe Burrow, even if he didn't play, Higgins was still the third receiver. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, Burrow's gonna Chase is just. They throw in, they throw out. I would probably try to move off Higgins personally, you know. Even though I like Higgins, you can't pay these guys.
You can't give a first round.
You got Deebo Samuel. What if you just traded Deebo for the 49ers and kept Ayuk?
The first
round. You got a true running back now.
Well, what pick would that be?
That's something that this is all food for thought.
Yeah, no, that's why I think CeeDee Lamb will be in the mix.
Lamb would be a big. He had a career year last year.
That's what I'm saying, and so.
But you know, Jerry don't want to give him up.
He might not want to.
Now, what about Dak Prescott?
This is a question: who are you paying, CeeDee Lamb or Prescott? And whoever
maybe
you pick,
Lamb, just move off Prescott and try to get a draft pick.
And whoever you pick, is that contract gonna be low enough to keep you to be able to?
Yeah, we're running out of time. I was going to tell you, what did you think about my draft proposal a couple of years ago, or not a couple of years ago, a couple of weeks ago, where you just trade Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons, try to get the number 1 or number 2 overall pick.
Ooh.
People thought that was crazy. I just did that on one of my shows.
Crazy things will happen, man. This is a draft.
Well, Dak is on the last year of his contract, and Michael's those reports, he's being obnoxious to the locker room. He's producing, though.
I'm sure the Jets will sign him in 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Appreciate
it, Chief. I will see you Thursday, draft night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time, folks. We'll be breaking down the draft first 10 picks here on Sports Scope. Appreciate you coming on, man.
I'll be.
All righty.